Hi, my name's Tony Davidson. I'm Executive Creative Director of Widening Kenley London, and it's been ages since I've had a haircut. I thought in the current climate, it would be interesting for us to talk about extinction. When I first got into this business, I was lucky enough to work with a typographer called David Wakefield. He had a double garage at home full of wooden letterpress, and he would go there regularly and spend hours printing wooden letters on beautiful bits of paper at different weights and then bring them in and kern them all and cut them, and they'd end up on my press ads. It was a remarkable look at craft and learning for me, sort of craft that was in danger of disappearing along with all the type houses. At the same time, my dad, who was an animal lover, kept on saying that he was annoyed that the sixth mass extinction was happening and nobody was doing anything about it. So I had these two things spinning in my head, and I was doodling on a pad with drawing some letters, and I noticed that two Ds could make a duck. I knew there'd been typography projects done before where lots of letters make animals, but it was the simplicity that I was attracted to. So I had a go at doing another animal and got E is for elephant. And I shared it with Kim Papworth, my partner at the time, and I said, do you think there's anything in this? And he said, well, we could do an alphabet and maybe some prints and try and raise some money for the World Wildlife Fund. So I thought, yeah, hell yeah, let's have a go. So we named the project Almost Extinct. We made some rules, the first of which was you can only use wood and letterpress. Second one, you have to only use the first letter of the animal. Third one was actually the easiest, which was make sure that the animal you're featuring is endangered somehow. Well, actually, even if you used a sort of an animal more common, like a rabbit, there was probably a endangered species of rabbit somewhere in the world. And the final one was you have to use as fewer fonts as possible, and letters actually. We went up to letter A first and thought the first double page spread would be really good with a little row of ants. So A is for ant. And then we thought where there's ants, there might be an anteater. And then B could be butterfly or baboon. We had some fun until someone told us that baboon doesn't have a nose like that. It's a mandrill that has a nose like that. Baboons have red arses. So we had a go at that too. A bit complicated. So we went back to C and tried to do simplicity. C is for crab. We've done D and E. So we went F is for flamingo. And this is when we knew the project was fun because people wanted to join in. A designer, Guy Featherstone, friend of ours, he did F is for falcon. I got really excited about G is for gorilla with the smaller G on top of the same G. H, we wondered if we could not show the whole animal. Could we do two giant H's and make the teeth of hippo on a massive double page spread? Could we do I is for iguana, the feet of an iguana? J could be for jellyfish. K could be for kangaroo if the tail was long enough and we got the right angle. L could be for llama or locust or maybe even lemming jumping off a cliff. M could be for molehills. N's not easy. So maybe if you've got any ideas, you could share them. O could be for oyster. P could be for pelican, penguin, porcupine. Q, we'll come back to that. R could be for rabbit. S could be for snake. T could be for tortoise. U, if you get all in a circle, the same letter, could be for urchin. V could be for vulture. W, walrus. X is hard. You could do an X-ray fish, or maybe you could cheat it and do extinct, spelt wrong, and do the skeleton of a dinosaur across a whole big double page spread. Y's for yak, and Z's for zebra, obviously. So we got this alphabet by now, and we were thinking, let's ring Dave, see if he's still around. And we rang him, and he's still got his typehouse, and he said, do you want to do a letter? And he said, yeah, I'll do D is for duck, and Z is for zebra. So he went away, came out with this typeface, and then came out with this amazing print of a duck. The way that the capital D's, the curvature of it, makes the I in the smaller D, and the overprint. And on the zebra, there's a mark on it, almost like as though a lion scratched the skin, which was a mark on the letter. And then the printing of it really feels like the skin. So we knew we needed to work with these master craftsmen. So I open sourced the project because that was all the rage at the time. I made a site and invited designers in to have a go. They could do their own drawings or their own prints or whatever. And Alex Zander Cooper, he sent in A is for alligator and B is for bison. I think Lucy Brown had a go at doing B is for butterfly off our scribbles. Ian Horton had a go at C is for crab. Vince Frost had a go. He cheated. He used all the letters of emu. So I had to get on the back of an envelope, take two of his letters and try and just using two letters, but I think it ended up looking more like an ostrich. Guy Featherstone found an F that if you turn it on its side looks like a fox head. Part of the project was you would look at type in order to get the idea. The other way you could look was looking at animals. I looked at an R for rhinoceros, and I thought the nose of it was, and the ear could be really good and could work well on this body, or maybe this body. And then something happened that was quite remarkable. An R is for rabbit came in, done by Fred Birdsall. And I just looked at it, and the simplicity and just turning it around was absolutely beautiful. And it reminded me of the D is for duck, Dave's D is for duck. And I went, look, here's the standard bearers. With that, the project went on hold because I ended up having 2 other projects to do, rather large nature, that go on for a long time, as anybody who's had a family will know. More recently, I dug the project out and I was chatting to somebody who said, oh, you should meet this designer, Jim Sutherland. He'd be into this. And he was, and he works with a mate called Kelvin Smith, who has his own letterpress studio. So we went down there and we started looking at some of the doodles. Jim said, you just got to dive in and start making stuff. So we found an A that looked like an anteater's head, and we were looking at a sort of small A for the eye. And then we looked at a photograph of an anteater and noticed that the tongue is one of the main features of it. So we thought maybe the A should be the tongue, not the eye. And it made it much simpler. We thought, that's smart. We found some C's that looked like sort of crab claws, and we tried to stagger them a bit and make it look as though the crab was running sideways. And then we found an E for an elephant head. So we tried printing an elephant, and then we thought a baby elephant would work well as well, with its head lifted up, trying to get the tail. J is for jellyfish. We'd got the original doodle and we made a jellyfish we quite like with the body. But then I thought, do we actually need the body? Could we just do the sort of the tentacles hanging from the top of the page? So I did another doodle, and then we got some J's and we did another print, and it looked much better, I thought, much simpler. M is quite clearly for moose. I'd found a body in a flea market, a bit of type that I really liked for the body. But I wondered if we could do the heads with 1, not 2. So we started printing some, and they looked great, amazing. I was really excited before Kelvin said they're not M's, they're W's. So then we went and found some M's and tried, and that still worked. So I like the simplicity of M is for moose as well. We looked at orangutan, pictures of orangutans, and their heads are very round. I did a doodle, and then we did a print. And, you know, it's quite simple. I really like the way that you have to work at them a bit, because I think we're going to have the names of the animals on the same page. Q wasn't quite as easy. This was my doodle of Q is for quail. And if you don't know what a quail looks like, this is what it looks like. Got a very distinctive top knot, like this. So we thought if we could find like a sort of descending stroke that did that. T is for tiger, 2 T's the other way around. But when we printed it, we were wondering, is it better that it overlaps or not? I think those details are really, really important. Finally, we got to S is for snake. We had a great sketch doodle. We did the print. We really liked it. But then we found this S that looked like a sort of spitting cobra. And so we took the tongue from the other one and put it on and made that one up. We thought it was good. But then we found another tongue that we thought was even better. And we just looked at it. And I think we had another one that could sit alongside duck and rabbit. So I think that real simplicity is what we were really looking for. And the search goes on for the perfect animal letters. Before the coronavirus, we were due to go and visit some other wood font houses that have survived. And also one in Italy called Tipoteca, which we will be doing when it clears up. But I think wrapping up my sort of waffle, I hope you've managed to understand. I guess my creative perspective would be, don't ignore the past, because there's things there that you can learn from, definitely. Learn from the people more talented than you. I've based my whole career on that one. Never forget the power of simplicity. I think sometimes we just overcomplicate. And one of our things our industry is really good is at bringing back down to simplicity. And finally, don't spend all your time on a computer. That's it. See ya.